Hi everybody, welcome to Reader's Intrigue, where authors are going to read the first chapter of their book so that we can be intrigued and maybe find a new book to read. Get comfy, get cozy, let's listen.
Boom, I'm in the room. Welcome to the Tim Heale podcast, Ordinary People's Extraordinary Stories. And what I'm doing today is I'm going to give you a quick heads up on a book that I've collaborated with others. So, a little bit about me then. I joined the British Army a long time ago. I served most of my working life in the British Army, and one of the roles that I had was in psychological operations, and part of that role was working in audio, working in radio, commercial radio, where I picked up the skills that came in quite useful once I'd retired. And when we went into lockdown, I was scratching around for something to do, and I thought, why don't I resurrect some of my old radio skills? So what I did, I started a podcast, and that podcast I did 24 half-an-hour episodes of my life, and then I did a couple of other episodes where I did some in-depth stuff that I've done. And then I wondered, what do I do next? I thought, why don't I tell other people's stories? So I started around with friends and relatives to get their stories, and it's sort of gone on from there. When I'd run out of people to do, I was scratching around, trying to find something to do, trying to find people. I came across PodMatch. Got into PodMatch, and last year, for 4 months on the bounce, I was the #1 host on PodMatch. The upshot of that was the guys over at PodMatch asked me if I would collaborate on a book. And here's the book. Podcast Host Mastery. So I collaborated with 16 other hosts to produce this book. There's an accompanying book to go with it, which is Podcast Guest Mastery. And there were 16 guests that also contributed to the books. Now, I'm in the podcast Host Mastery, and my section is on chapter 12, page 95. And I tell people how I go about getting guests to come on the show. I mean, PodMatch is a great tool for finding people to talk to. So I use them in different ways. Originally I started off with Ordinary People's Extraordinary Stories, and I had a basic format that I used where I asked people when and where they were born. I asked them to describe what it was like when they grew up, the schools they went to, and the education that they received. Then we kick that around for a bit and pull out some real nuggets that they've forgotten about, and then we move on to their work-life history, and then we'll see where the conversation takes us. I also find people that are interested in mental health issues. I do a live show every Thursday at 7 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time called Everyday Conversations Regarding Mental Health. That show's been going for a few months now, and we've covered some real gritty topics, and that goes out every week. I've also started up another YouTube channel where I do a live awesome quiz every Tuesday, going live at 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time, and that's just for fun. Lots of people have joined it in. I give them 30 questions, I give them the answers, and they put their scores in the comments box, and building up quite a nice little group of people that interact with each other while we're going in. They welcome each other. So, moving on then, the book. So the book came about last year through the guys at PodMatch. PodMatch has been going for about 3 years, and last year was a really good year. Lots and lots of people have signed up to this. I don't know the exact figures, but there's an inexhaustible supply of people that want to go onto podcasts and tell their stories, which is great for me as a host. So I get people to tell their stories, and I get people to come onto my live show. I'm also, when you sign up for PodMatch, this is the front page, and it'll ask you whether you're a host or whether you're a guest. Now, I'm hybrid, so I'm both. So I'm not just a host, but I'm also a guest. So people that sign up that want me as a guest to come and tell some of my stories, I'm really happy to do that. And I also find people that are happy to come onto my shows. When you go on there, you set up your profile and stuff like that, and this is what the host page looks like. If for me as a host, this is what it looks like, where people come in looking to guest on a show and they see me and that's what they see. For me as a guest, if I'm asking somebody to go on their show as a guest, this is what you see. So from there then, my shows, the links, there's a link in there for the PodMatch, and you can go onto PodMatch. There's the link for the books, for the both books, so the Host Mastery and the Guest Mastery. It's also available on Amazon, and they're very reasonably priced, so you can find the books on Amazon. I put out audio podcasts, and there's somewhere near 300 podcasts on there at present. So you can find those on all the popular podcast apps, the Googles, the Spotify, the Amazon, the Apple. It's across all the different platforms, so you can find it just about anywhere. I've also got the YouTube channel, which is everyday conversations regarding mental health, and also the Ordinary People's Extraordinary Stories are also on there. So if you don't want to listen to them, but you want to watch the people that I've interviewed, there's about 200, I think, so far that I've done on there. And also, if you want to have a go at the quiz, there's the link for the quiz channel. So that's, in a nutshell, what PodMatch and PodMatch Host and Guest Mastery books are all about. So without too much further ado, I'd just like to say thank you for your time, and please look at it, sign up, and you may be a guest on one of my shows.
Thank you again to the amazing author that read us a story, and be sure to check out all the other amazing shows on RB Media. Till next time, bye!